on, and welcome to SurvivorJJC. My name is Colleen.
I am Jamie.
And we are joined...
Still not Jack. Sorry.
We are joined once again by not Jack herself, Elena, the one and only. Yay!
Hi, guys. Sorry about that.
Oh my god, please don't be sorry. The amount of times no, please don't be sorry.
It won't be the last time, I can assure you.
So how's it going? We had the Mergatory episode of Survivor tonight, aptly named. I think that one's going to stick around for a while in the vernacular. Yes. It was very clever.
We found out that Ryan was apparently in gymnastics class at some point in life.
That makes sense if he was, I
mean, like, he just was like, what? Hang upside down? Sure. Do you think that he, like, practiced that skill and was like, okay, at some point I'm going to get to use this. Oh, now's my time. Or do you think it was, like, on the fly? Like, he didn't even know he was going to do it.
I think it was on the fly. I mean, how do you know you're going to Spider-Man it?
Maybe he watches and he's all like, you know what they need to do when they're trying to help people up these ramps is, like, hang upside down. That's going to be me.
I don't know. It felt like it was on the fly, but it was pretty badass, if I must say.
I think he tried it one way and then felt like maybe he'd be better off working in reverse.
And the amount of
wrong.
No, the amount of upper body strength you have to have, just core strength in general, to stay like that and not fall.
Yeah. Also, he looked way cooler getting up that thing and helping out than poor James did when he like flew up the net and then he was like, I can't.
Those are hard though. I can't imagine I would get it on the first time trying. No. I would need some help.
I've already told you, like, I wouldn't stand a chance in these competitions. It'd be like, somebody needs to sit out. That's going to be me.
I couldn't even sleep there. Forget anything competition related. That I couldn't even get through night one. So yeah. That's why I'm here and they're there.
Good point. This was finally, we got an episode with action. Also, the amount of people that were like, it's about to get wild in here. The game is really starting. And I'm like, what did you think you were playing the last 13 days or whatever it was?
Pretty hyped to be with more people, right?
It is interesting though that this Mergatory thing, it kind of does make it so that it's a tribe swap but they're all on the same beach. Does that make sense?
Yes. And I really like that because you could really, really mess with people's games in like a different way than before. Especially if you're like competing against each other, like tonight where you've had two puzzles like right neck and neck, like somebody could do some shady stuff.
Mm-hmm. I know it happened in like maybe 3 minutes in the episode, but at some point I forgot that they, after the feast / whatever the losers did, they were all coming back to the same camp and they all got to vote. So it wasn't like they were divided in the sense that only half of them were at risk and they tried to strategize within their own little groups. But then, I was like, oh, wait a minute, they're all coming together and everybody gets to say. So the whole Gabler of it all really did have it had an effect, which I had, didn't appreciate until, like 2 minutes later when I realized that they were all coming back together. So it was definitely an interesting, strategizing on each side and how they all came together. And then that turned everything else up on its head.
Liked that thank God we don't have the stupid smash the hourglass thing. I'm hoping that it never happens again.
I love how Jeff was like, no twist. If you win it, it's yours.
Yep. And I wonder how much he did that for our benefit, knowing how much hate there was behind it, or just to give them a little bit of peace, like, to let them know that it is what it is or what it appears to be, and that they can be true to whatever their own understanding of the game is at that point, and wherever they, they believe the vote should lie.
Yeah.
And he got him to dig. That's his thing, right? You got to dig. Like, that is such a big deal to him. He doesn't want anybody just like kind of partaking in a challenge. He's out for blood. So when he can instill, like, if you win it, it's yours, it's going to get him digging.
Yeah. The Gabler of it all. Really, so... several exciting things happened this episode. Possibly my favorite was Owen asking for a Chiron list of advantages, and then it like pops up on screen, and I was like, "Oh, thank God!"
Loved it. I copied it down, paused it at every time, and it's all here transcribed on page 1 of 9 notes. 9 pages.
Take a picture of that one. We need to study those notes.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Such a fan thing to do, right? For him to say that, and for editing to just put it up there for us, knowing that we're all lost. We've, if you're like me, you forgot what anybody has, and they're a nice little summary.
I totally forgot about Noelle's. Like, I was like, oh yeah, see, way to go, Owen. Thank you, friend.
And the funny thing is, that you forgot about Noelle's. She's like the most recent one to get it too.
I know, but they just kind of disappear, right? Like when you have that much going on, love it or hate it, you start to forget who's got what. And I cannot imagine being in the game. Like, it's one thing to view the game and try to keep track of everything, but to be in the game and you have certain people that have something, and then you've got your suspect list, and then the ones you don't know about. Yeah, I am not somebody who would be great at this. It turns out.
Let's see. What else happened? Carla's hand bleeding all over the place.
Yes.
It looked painful.
Yeah, and then having to thank goodness that she had Upside Down Man to help her up that thing. Because I'm thinking about trying to grab onto something when you cut your hand that hard.
Ooh,
like
I know.
A scratchy rope. Man.
I know. Yeah, like that, and it was an awesome comeback.
Yes, it was. It was really fun to watch. And I was really excited because I was all like, some of our votes to go home are over there. Like, we need that team to go. To go
100%. I was like, eyes on Dwight. I've never had to pick someone to go home before. And I was like, zeroed in. And then I think we all kind of blew that.
I was like, all right.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, we are.
We're all still in it.
I was a little I was a little bummed that Noelle didn't get to compete, because I'd love to see her beasted up that rope or that ramp, because I know she could have done it, and she probably would have been the one letting everybody hang off of her as well. So but she escaped that one, but it would have been really cool to see her try that wall. I think I wrote that Jeff said it was the steepest wall in Survivor history. Could that be right?
In this Survivor, sure.
I didn't rewind it, but I think he alluded to how difficult that wall was.
Yeah, Jeff says a lot of things, though. He has a very small
I'm not
memory.
Fact check him 43 seasons later, but
for 42 seasons, we were told that fire was the most.
You're right. You made that point. Yep.
He's full of deception.
Everything's different this season, right? Even the steepness of the wall and the importance of fire.
Yes.
I love that Noelle had to pick her team, though. I thought that was pretty great.
Yeah, that was great. I'm glad that she picked the correct team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was really wondering which she was going to go for, because I thought the blue team had some pretty great physical competitors on it, but that didn't work out for them.
Yeah. No, it sure didn't. I mean, it did it first, but what else? So the phrase was earning your spot at every turn. Have we heard that phrase before, or did he just bring a bunch of phrases together?
He's got the Mad Libs. He's got the Survivor Mad Libs. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember hearing it. Some, things probably really close in line with that, but not that exact phrase. But you'll notice he kept saying, "You've got to earn your place. You've got to," like he was just feeding it to them before they even said go.
That's very true. I wonder if anybody was paying attention and they picked up on it. Sorry, I needed to turn the heat on down here. I am freezing. So if you hear that noise, that thudding noise, it's just my heat turning on. I wonder if somebody zeroed in on it though, and that's how they were like, okay, I wonder if the word earn is somewhere.
Yeah,
it would not surprise me.
Carla was funny at the very beginning of the episode when they were reading the tree mail, because she, said what we all said last week, which is nothing comes that easy. And while James, I guess, who read it, seemed really pumped about it, she was a little reserved. Like, I know how this has been going the last few seasons. So she telegraphed what we all saw.
Yes.
In the next on last week, and
yes.
Yes. Good to see another fan recognizing some things that, I think most of them catch on to, but it's just, we hadn't seen in seasons past,
right?
Someone that aware of how the game goes.
Yeah, and then again at the meal too, when she was watching the wheels start to fall off of this Baka cart. And she's just like, I'm just going to sit here and watch it happen.
And she totally suggested the alcohol to get everybody talking, right? Because that's exactly what I would do. I'd be like, we're all starving, and then I would pretend to drink a beer while everybody else got buzzed. Let them spill all their chattiness, and then when things start to die down, then I would drink my beer. I wouldn't let it go to waste, but...
Once everybody has said the things you needed to hear.
Exactly.
Loose lips.
Exactly. So how about Gabler? Just straight up being like, Ellie went through my bag.
Yeah, he pushed through it. They have come to roost, right? The dishonest.
I mean, tonight was Ellie's finding out, correct? Like, she effed around back in episode 2, and she found out tonight. And I liked Ellie. She was my winner's pick until tonight. But I was very, very turned off by the gaslighting and the straight up denying. Like, I didn't do that. No, I didn't do that. Like, even like the people that saw her do it, she's like, why would you say that?
I wrote down that she was turning into quite the sassafras. Like, she's just she was getting like a little bit all over the place, and she's already got these like huge beautiful eyes, but they're like intense, right? Mm-hmm. So when she starts to get intense, it's like her eyes like narrow in and become very threatening. And so I'm like this is not going to play out good for her. People are going to feel uncomfortable. And
she was already like running her mouth with the Cassidy and the James stuff, and like that stuff is going to come back around to you. And she just, I know that she thought in the very opening that she was meant for Survivor, and she's like way better at it than she ever could have thought she would be. But she did not. She didn't handle that right. Like, don't sit there and lie and deny and then run all over to everybody. Just own it. Be like, yeah, man, sorry, it's a game.
But kudos to Sammy and Owen, because oh my God, they handled that so well.
They handled it, yeah.
That was like professionalism right there. That was real serious gaming.
It was really smart of them to pick up on Janine's opportunity to save Ellie and their closeness too, in that they wanted to just keep it cool, not to raise the threat, because they didn't want the idol played on Ellie.
Yep.
I thought that was really smart.
And they got her. They totally got her. Judging by her reaction at Tribal, she looked shocked and like sickened.
She did. And Janine too, because she...
Yeah. That's what I meant. Janine looked shocked and sickened at Tribal. Like, they got her.
But do you think she was really, truly shocked and sickened, or did she see way it was going and she just didn't want to give up her idol?
I don't know. So on the one hand, she's the one that has the connection to Jesse, right?
Yes.
So on the one hand, like, she could have had a secret talk with him, and they could have been like, dude, I don't think you should waste your idol. But on the other hand, she really looked like she was shaken. Like,
Yeah.
I think they got her. I think
She thought that she was good. Well, I mean, if you look at how many names did we have? Because we had Ellie, James, Owen, and Cass all got mentioned. So
Yes.
clearly there was enough going on. She thought she would probably squeak by.
Yeah, Ellie had 5, Owen had 1, James had 2, and Cassidy had 1. And Cassidy, I caught Noelle's the one that voted for Cassidy.
Okay, I was just gonna ask who had done it. Who done it?
Yeah.
I don't know if they, again, editing, you can never tell, but when they were breaking, if anyone has an immunity idol that they want to play, they really hung up on Janine, like she was thinking about it, but you never know with that. So if she had been thinking about it and didn't play it, and then the votes are read and she regrets it, maybe that adds to her facial response or whatever too.
But Elle handled it. She handled it really well. She didn't get snotty with anybody. She was like, good job.
Yeah.
I always appreciate, I mean, occasionally a little bit of snark is fun at the end of somebody's game. If it's the right personality, like somebody like Cassandra, it's fine coming from her, right? But you usually want to see somebody leaving on an up note, and she was like, I had so much fun, later taters.
Yeah, but then in her confessional, she was like, it's all Gabler's fault that I'm here. And I'm like, girl, you went through his bag. We saw it.
If you are going to dig through somebody's bag, if you're going to use it, because you can, it's in the rules, you can. But if you're going to do it, you can't have anyone see you do it, like other than the cameras, because you can't. It's worse than getting caught in a lie if you get caught doing it.
Yeah.
Everybody has to lie or bend the truth a little bit in the game, but not everybody has to dig through bags.
Right.
So if you're going to do it, I'm all for it if it's going to help your game out, but it's like you can't, other people can't see it happen.
Yeah. Now, and clearly there was enough going on around camp if Owen and Cassidy were getting votes too, where, clearly there was something. Maybe they were like, in case they play the shot in the dark or an idol, we need all these backups. Like, who knows? But she was clearly rubbing people the wrong way, and it was very obvious very early on what was going to happen, because she was just portrayed as being a kind of like a bossy hot mess.
Yeah, like really intense.
Which, like, again, I liked her, but I was very put off by all the lying about the bag stuff. Like, that's not how, that's, like, play it cool. Own it. Well, say, I'm sorry. I didn't know you on day 3 as well as I know you now 10 days later. That was my mistake.
If I had it to do over again, I wouldn't have
done it. I haven't told anybody that you have an idol here, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
I think last week, too, when Janine found the idol last week, right? And they were like, oh, and Gabler still doesn't know that he can't play his idol, or he thinks he can't. And they were
I thought we cleared that up. I thought we cleared it up that he knew that he had it for 2 rounds.
They were still celebrating the fact that they thought he was so dumb. So it's a little bit, obnoxious in that point, too, that they were, not just happy that they found something to their advantage, but also how slick they were, and he was so stupid he couldn't even read.
I think
that was annoying.
Seeing with Janine at this point is that Janine does not have a very good grasp on what's going on in the game. I think that's where we're at. Like, she was busy being frenzies with one person and then just didn't pay attention to anything else the rest of the time.
Well, except for she totally pulled that puzzle out, right?
Yes,
and really strong and showed herself there. And then I thought Tribal, her take on what was she talking about? Hold on, I wrote it down. Wait. Paranoia versus gut.
Yes.
I thought that was a very interesting read. Was it just a concoction of where she felt like she needed to sway people because of the Ellie, bad whatever vibe, or the Gabler's
the bad taste she left it, because it wasn't even just the Gabler stuff. It was the throwing everybody's name out stuff.
Right. But it was a good point, especially in light of the season where for the last 2 weeks, Paranoia has sent or threatened to send people home. First, Lindsay and
Yes.
Cassidy last week. And then even Ellie, she came out of that challenge. And this was something I was interested in is, she clearly you're starved, you're tired. You just put yourself at risk because she knew she was working on the puzzle that gets back to their camp, and she starts crying and taking responsibility for that. But how much does that, in addition to the fact that someone may already say, okay, well, she's responsible because we flubbed the puzzle, but now she's crying about it, just drawing more attention to it. So,
Right.
it's just, she had every right to be paranoid, but her paranoia added to her, target, increased her target.
Yeah.
So you definitely think that after the meal, let's say after the meal, like Gabler said what he said, and then it comes back to her. If she like downplayed it just like a bit, like her energy on it, like played it cool, didn't get like super freaked out by it, where she was like, because she didn't just go to Gabler, or Sammy and Owen. She went outside of her own core tribe and started probably putting it in the minds of people that weren't really even thinking that much about it.
Yeah.
And essentially, like you said, pulled the paranoia card, which seems to be the way out of this season's game.
Right. Yeah, that's the theme of the season is don't be paranoid, or paranoia will get you out.
Be cool, boy. Be cool.
Yeah, be cool. Yeah, I thought that was really interesting and consistent for the season. And she didn't make a good case for who was she throwing? Cody under the bus?
Yeah.
Or that was her target, but she didn't really make a good argument that we saw. I don't know if we saw her selling it strong, other than putting a name out there.
But she knew about his idol. She knew about the beads, right? Like, was it her that was talking about she knew about the beads? So instead of all of this busybody business of going and saying, I didn't do what Gabler said I did, what she should have said is, I had to protect myself. I wish I wouldn't have done it that way. By the way, do you know that he has an idol?
Yeah.
Do you know how quickly that could have thrown his whole tribe wait a minute, and then everybody, if she knew, she absolutely made the wrong move by not using that. Tough luck, she's out. Yeah. And another girl is gone.
I know, that's a bummer too. And the problem was this one actually felt kind of organic, which I don't know if that was to the editors or not. So I feel badly because, the women are getting completely creamed this season. I know that's what she said, but it's just
Yes, it is what she said. Until she got voted off.
Yeah. It truly blows my mind how badly the panicking was. I get it. You recognize you were wrong and you were panicking, but still, it's just mind-boggling. I did love when, they're like, Baka strong, and Gabler's like, we're not Baka strong, we're a Baka S show. I also... Gabler is such great TV, if for nothing else, the fact that his shirt completely camouflages him, literally, and it is, all I can focus on, you'd think the beard would be the focal point, or the tattoos,
but no, it's the disappearing lower body,
that
where
shirt.
Did he go?
It's just incredible.
When he takes his shirt off, and you see, he has some really gorgeous tattoos.
Yeah, they are.
I'm thinking that those are I'm going to be on Survivor, so I need to get the chest plate and the sleeve done now, because those are shiny, brand new tattoos. They are so vibrant.
I was going to ask you, you probably know more about tattoos than I do. That, they looked very
They are
gorgeous.
Very new.
Okay.
They're so bright. There's no way that those are over. I mean, there's a lot you can do to keep your tattoos looking great for a long time with like proper skincare, but like those huge pieces like that, and considering how much time they spend out in the sun,
Yeah.
no, those babies are this year.
Okay.
They are
So
absolutely.
some women get like Botox to prepare for Survivor. Others
just gonna
diet
say-
or go to CrossFit.
You get
You read my
Botox,
mind.
you get
No
the
CrossFit
Depo
for
shot, or
Gable.
you get tattoos.
Hey, I respect that. We all have to do what's going to make us feel good
Yep.
to be on television. I respect.
Yeah, you bet. You bet.
Anyway, let's check in with the chat real quick. Kayla was around before. She said hi. We're frozen. Hi, I can't. I was saying hi. I can't hear spoilers. She's on the West Coast. Ro is out there. Hello. Chris says, honestly, all I could think of during the entire episode was heavens to Mergatory. Mergatory. How are we pronouncing this? Mergatory? Mergatory.
That's Mergatory.
And then Got Tequila is also here. Hello.
Yay! Hey! I also, just a side note, I just didn't notice it. So the little fire snuffer, we got like that really long, like slow-mo at the beginning of Tribal with, was it the beginning of Tribal or beginning of the episode? Tribal, I think. But that's pretty great looking with the octopus. It's like really ornate. Like they've really put a lot into some of their pieces this year. It's because they knew they were going to do these slow-mo stills. They were like, we've got to make this something else.
Well, yeah. All right. What else? What else about the episode? I feel like that was such the last 20 minutes of the episode was this Janine freakout. How are we liking? Yeah. How are we liking Ryan and James's chances here? We still saw a bit of Jesse. If we're going to switch to reading the end a little bit, we saw a bit of Jesse still, so I still feel real solid. He's, spoiler alert, he's probably going to be who I change my winner's pick to.
I think he has the ability to play a really like cool, strong game a little bit in the background.
My only concern is he'll be our Ricardo, and he'll be gone.
He'll be out
4,
at number 5 or 4, which is where all my favorites end up.
Exactly.
FYI. If you're out at 5 or 4, you were probably at the top of my list.
Exactly.
So when does he get his vote back? They're back, right? After, was it till the merge?
I think that it was like the next Tribal, right?
Okay.
When they were officially merged.
Officially merged.
This Tribal, they weren't.
Mergatory doesn't count.
Mergatory doesn't count. Which we, and we'll get to this in a second, but I had to confer with Jay before I came down because Jack, Jamie, and I all guessed Ellie would make the merge. And
are we in merge?
Technically, the tribes were merged, but technically they were not merged.
Oh, this is a tough.
Jay ruled.
What was the verdict?
Jay ruled that because Jeff said at the end, "Now you're all officially merged," she technically did not make the merge. Because I was like, well, they're merged, but she didn't make the jury. And we've had people who were on the merged tribe not make the jury before. But the final ruling from the Tally the Vote creator was that she is still a pre-merge vote, which Miami Mike in the chat agrees.
Yeah, I think that's fair, especially with him saying, okay, now you are officially merged after it happened.
Yes. So spoiler, nobody got a point for that tonight. Ro in the chat says, I repeat what I say every season. I want old school Survivor, one idol in each camp. Gets put back if it's used. Yep. Let's see the gameplay without all the hoopla. Maybe one advantage during the season. I know that. Go ahead.
I'm not going to disagree. I do like that. Though I would add that I would still love to have the added challenge of you either have to go into a camp or get the idol during the middle of a competition. I love when they have to like really be sly to get the reward.
It looks like next episode there's something going on to that regard, which I was glad, and that's what I said last week. I'm opposed to the beads and the silly phrases. I really like the hidden idols where they have to put themselves on the line to try to get
it's
something.
more, right? It says more about their gameplay, because now, with the exception of somebody like Tony, who's all like, I've had 20 minutes of sleep and everyone else is sleeping and I don't care if it's dark, I'm gonna go find idols. There are very few players that you could say that was really skill that found you that idol. Usually it's like, oh, I looked and there it is. I wandered around the jungle for however amount of time and then I saw the thing. But if you have to like really work to get it, then to me it says way more about your gameplay that you earned that idol. You earned that protection.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see people who just sit around and don't really do anything, don't do much in the challenge, and they hang them by the skin of their teeth because they accidentally stumble across an idol that somebody else missed. I want to see him work for it.
I think the fact that, to Rose's point, the fact, because Rose always right, and she is in this case as well. But the fact that we needed Owen's idol inventory, like actually listed on the screen in a bullet points, that to just remember where we're at. And Carla made the point too. I think it was Carla at the feast or at some point, like, we've had 3 excursions, adventures. I forget what they call it when the 3 of them go off to the mountain and spin the ship wheel. And there's a lot at play, and people losing a vote, people gaining a vote, people have this, that, and the other. Like there is a lot. If we can't keep track of it, we see the whole thing.
Yeah.
How can we expect them to even take this mental inventory? Owen knew he did what he didn't know and what he wanted to know, but we can't even keep track as you know, couch quarterbacks, you know, trying to keep track of it all. There's a lot at play, and it takes a little bit of it out of the game because it's impossible for them to know all of it. Even though Ellie was astute to see beads, heard the story. Noelle, poor thing, she didn't know what she was talking, what she was divulging with the Cody hat story. And she's lucky that she did. Ellie, didn't work for Ellie to her advantage. She had it in her pocket, or in her hands. She could have used that.
That's what I'm saying. That is, to me, like, it doesn't matter about the bag. It doesn't matter that she couldn't cover her tracks or make amends with Gabler. The fact that she had that key piece of information, and it wasn't a tool that she used, then she is not a good enough player to make it to the next round. Like, that's it. You were given an opportunity that nobody else that's sitting there has. Nobody else has that information like in the way that you have it. I mean, some people know what he was doing because they helped him get the beads, but having that kind of information would have, like, I think it could have saved her until next week.
And it would have, if she had said anything about it, it could have disclosed what Carla has and what Janine has. Maybe that's why she didn't. She was afraid it was gonna, I mean, if we give her too much credit, you could say that, by talking about it, she would have, divulged Janine's idol the same exact way.
Well, exactly. And
that's true.
Because how do you go about doing that at the merge without then putting a target on yourself because you're not the one that has the idol? Carla had immunity, so what? Some people find out that Carla has an idol. Okay, well, it's 3 more days until the next vote. That's a long time. Same with Cody. And so I do think, and then I think Cody could have just turned around, played it, and idled her out. So
with the Janine thing, especially when Janine was all like, okay, well, if we get the feeling that this is going to happen, I will play my idol for you. That point right there, I can see where she kept it mute because she didn't want that opportunity to be taken away from her.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like there was some leverage she could have used that for, and maybe there was, and they just didn't show it because it didn't work out.
Well, and she also could have just gone to somebody else and been like, I know I'm the target now, but Cody has an idol. Just FYI, just so you know, Cody has an idol. So
you know,
you might, now's your chance to take him out
especially considering that a few people had his name in their mouth.
Yeah,
she could have maybe pushed that just a little bit further. I mean, who knows? Yeah. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just disappointed that, because as soon as she got that information, I got really excited for her because it's like, okay. And then I didn't see her go tell everybody. right off the bat. And I'm just like, okay, this is going to come back later and this is going to be used. In my head, I was like, this is going to be used properly. And then it wasn't. And then it was not.
Right. I got excited tonight when I realized that my Target glasses were at the Merge Feast.
Wow. Now we know.
Oh my God. They shop at Target. There's a Target in Fiji.
There was a Big Brother competition years ago, and they were wearing, their little competition uniforms, their, veto comps. And they were wearing the same Target, like, kind of kids band style sneakers I had. I was like,
like I'm practically on the game right now.
What?
Anytime
I can participate. Colleen, you asked about Ryan's game, and I thought he got another little dodo edit with the suggestion that everyone who is on blue is like in
final
a final
seven. Yeah,
that felt so hard. Like nobody was in on that.
No one was in on it, but we heard the confessional from Janine, who is not in on anything. So
no,
who knows what that means.
She's just there. She's there solving puzzles.
She's good at it, so you never know.
James kind of dodged it too. I don't think that he got a terrible edit tonight. He managed to. Did he? He didn't get it. He got two votes. Okay.
Ryan did?
No, James did.
Oh, James. Yeah. No, I was. I think Ryan made it back from last week where he fell really hard with his strategy on, if I'm going to be the one, just go ahead and do it. His little martyr story. But but he came back pretty strong. I mean, he was on the right side of the comp, and Spider-Man did out, so he looks like he's pretty safe. He didn't get any. He wasn't eligible for a vote, but yeah, I think it would have been pretty safe. Even. And
I think Sammy looked really good this week too. Like,
yes, Sammy
and this is somebody that I've kind of had my reservations about, but like this week he like, okay, all right, maybe I might root for you, like, because there was a good handle of the game there, and the reality of like realizing that she's one of our own, but she's got to go because she's not really one of our own.
I think it was a mature move on his part. He knew how to handle it. He didn't get super emotional or overreact.
The appropriate amount of annoyed with Gabler, just enough to say like, that's annoying, and then do something about it without it being a situation.
Yeah.
I think it's a level of maturity we wouldn't expect from someone that young. So especially
after the last few little tiffs that he's had with them in the middle of a competition. So I kind of liked that they weren't together, like playing in the competition together, because it didn't have to be like, hold this, I am holding this. They're like, every comp, they're like, they're just, like you said, the father and son pairing,
Yeah.
But yeah, he did great. He and Owen both.
Yeah. I can't see Gabler being long for this game, but we'll see. Cody has settled down tremendously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, Ellie threw his name out there. Maybe it was because she knew of the idol. I never really understood why she picked him out.
She picked him out because he was the only one from his old tribe on that team.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. So, but otherwise, I don't think anyone was really like, Cassidy said she was, but was that also because she picked out he's the solo guy out here?
What Jamie is laughing at is Miami Mike in the chat said that regarding Sammy, this was the move of a savvy 22-year-old.
This is no move a 19-year-old would make.
Never.
Yeah, but all in all, I am bummed to lose Ellie, but from what we saw, it sounds like they probably made the right decision. For the group, just because she seemed like somebody that was rubbing people the wrong way, and yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what Janine does.
Is this the downfall of Baka now? Are they all going to go, follow like dominoes?
We will see. I don't know.
I do not see the tribe like getting, I see them getting absorbed. I don't see them getting wiped out. I think the group of people, like maybe Janine might not be long for the game, but also she kind of seems like somebody who could just like maybe swim back to shore and hang out for a while and be okay. Because she doesn't have that friend in the game that gets her all riled up, So I think that for the first time we might not, it's usually whoever goes first, that tribe gets pretty beaten up pretty quickly. I don't feel like that's going to happen with these guys.
Yeah.
Except for Gabler.
God says shockingly he made the merge. Usually the older folks get voted off quickly. It's because they were busy voting off all the women this time around.
And have they been to tribal since?
I don't think so, since that first time.
So he's not only safe by not having to go to tribal, but he's had the idol. So,
but now he doesn't have Sammy anymore in the competitions for a while. Who else is like? Who does he have in his team that like is where he's at competitively, like physically?
I don't think anyone's going to choose to align with him now that they have other options. Yeah. I think
I see him getting like pushed towards tribal like a few times. Maybe he might not go out right away, but I think he's going to always be in the top 3 of like who do we need out?
Right.
And depending on how these competitions really go, like in a post-merge world,
he's kind of like their Debbie. Like I said before,
he's a lot of athletic people in, so it's not like he's a standout on the athletics. So
yeah, but he is a smart
maybe
guy.
Maybe tattoo preservation is going to be a challenge.
Ooh, maybe.
But
sunscreen lathering.
He is a smart guy, and he is kind of like their Debbie, like somebody they're going to keep around for the vote, and then once it's too much of a wild card, he's got to go.
Is his idol good? Still good?
No, I believe his idol was only good for the next vote.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I think that from where we're sitting, his nemesis is become Sammy Gabler. I think Gabler's going to end up. I just feel like Sammy's going to go against him. I just feel there's tension between the two of them. Like they get along, but then they don't. And Sammy gets a little bit annoyed by some of the stuff that Gabler does. I think Sammy's going to do what he can to get Gabler out.
I don't know.
Maybe not right off the bat, but I think it's going to be by his hands when it happens.
Yeah, we will see. Any last thoughts before we move into, we've got 2 emails from Mandy, and I see they have pictures attached to each.
Ooh.
And
Are
then,
they from the event, maybe?
Ooh, maybe. Looks like, all right, well, Dennis has joined us. Hello, Dennis.
Hey, Dennis.
All right, any last thoughts, and then we'll take our commercial break, and then we'll go to feedback and tally the votes.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back. All right, we're back. We have 2 emails from Mandy. The first one is, I'm not a fan of earning your way to the merge or these massive 13 people tribes. So my viewing party this week was with Owen. He's super friendly, and thank God he didn't go home tonight. And she attached a picture of her and Owen, which is awesome.
I love.
And I want to nitpick this earning your way to the merge thing, because I know the chat, you guys were complaining it too. Technically, literally every single day before the merge, you're literally playing the game to earn your way to the merge.
Yep.
So it's just a different variant on earning your way to the merge. And I didn't really speak up when you guys were talking before about old school Survivor. I don't mind some of the twists, because at the end of the day, it is a game, and a game could get boring after a while if you don't switch it up once in a while.
It needs to evolve.
Right. And I think there's too much going on right now. In last few seasons, there's been like when you need something to keep track of everything. But, every board game has something like that too, where everybody's got, different cards and advantages and blah, 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 blah. So it's not
house rules. So
right. So it's not
their own version.
I can understand wanting the original, but I also don't mind. Like, some things like the hourglass are stupid. I didn't hate the phrases. I know I'm alone in that. I didn't hate the phrases. And I also really enjoyed the beads thing. So I think that there's good and there's bad twists. I don't mind them. And I'm glad that they listen when we do say something is awful. We'll probably never see the Tyler Perry idol again.
Sometimes whatever, makes sense on paper, you just have to play it out and see. And then they don't have the benefit when they don't air a season until 2 seasons recorded. Then, we're off by, we have to endure it for, 2 hourglass smashing until they can autocorrect. So, I think we're obviously 43 seasons. We're all still here. Right. We're willing to tolerate it. It's just a matter of, what's frustrating is keeping track, is, not knowing, are these twists and turns making it feel more difficult or difficult as viewers, right? So, because
the viewers,
let them work. They make the money, but when
the
you're
viewers
sitting
are a
on a
big
couch
part
and just
of the
giving
game.
up on keeping track, it's like, takes a little bit of the joy of just casually viewing a TV show.
When Jeff says that, is it fun? Okay, well, do you mean is it fun for the ones playing it, or is it fun for the viewers? Because that does not usually go hand in hand.
Right.
It just doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, if they're on the tribe and they're not having fun, like, we are having some great TV. And if they're really enjoying themselves and kumbayaing, then we are not having fun.
Right.
There's got to be the middle.
Right. Kayla had sent me a podcast that Probst was on, and I started it, but I didn't get to finish it. What was the name of it? It was The Friendship Onion, and he was on that this week, if anybody wants to check that out. Let's see. Rose says, evolving is okay, but overdoing it is too much. True. Miami Mike says Survivor's like a band that keeps trying new sounds out and evolves versus Big Brother being the old school cover band that keeps playing the same hits over and over. Hey, that's what Got wants. Got wants the same hits over and over again because he said, no, it is not fun.
See,
there's too many people to please and we can't please them all. So we're going to piss everybody off some of the time. So that's just,
Yeah.
And as I have said in defense of the game a few times, is much like Colleen, what you were saying. It's been around for 43 seasons. The game needs to evolve, and the major demographic of who's watching it and who's getting on the show to participate is completely different than it was 25 years ago. We have different generations playing now, and it's gonna evolve to what they want to see too.
And what they know, right?
Right.
Janine mentioned, it's the merge. I've dreamed about this since being a kid. I mean, she's watched this.
Which was 6 years ago.
Yeah, well, true. Okay. So that's different for me, but for her, you're right. Same. But I mean, it's everyone on that, most people or the majority of the players in the last few seasons have been fans, even super fans. They don't want to give them the game that they know. They need to change it up for our sake and for their sake. It wouldn't be fair if we just gave them the keys to the castle. So Carla might see, okay, I've watched the last 3 seasons, whether it's on Netflix and she's watched it or she's been watching it for decades. It's, they have to give it a twist, else everyone will be bored.
Except for God.
But
Except
God.
for God.
God,
He is
well,
a traditionalist. He is a survivor.
yeah, we know God.
Look, I freely admit there are, when there's too much, it's too complicated, but yeah.
That, and I'm always excited, and maybe it shows, like maybe this is telling. I get like really excited when I see a competition that's different, and that's because we've seen so many of the same competitions with different color blocks
Oh,
or a
like
different
the
picture on the
challenges?
puzzle.
Yeah.
You know, do you remember like the combination lock challenge when that first came around, where you have to like the combination and then pull the rod? Like it was always so nerve-wracking because that was really difficult, and now they just bloop bloop bloop, nothing, and they keep going. So I get super excited when there's something new and something challenging, but that also says, like, I think that we live in a time where we have seen uh much more difficult physical and mental challenges on Survivor, but on all TV in general, in life, in our own personal lives. They're going to have to up the ante a little bit on the difficulty or the danger factor to kind of get that same energy that the game used to have. It doesn't so much have that anymore. I mean, since Caleb almost died for getting salt and pepper, like, there hasn't been a whole lot of close calls.
Well, and the other way they've changed it is just denying them food, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're just going to starve you all to death and exhaust you to the point where, you're not going to be able to handle the longevity of the game or the intensity of the competitions. So they're just wearing on them in a completely different way that we hadn't seen, prior to 2-3 seasons ago. So it's, there's a lot of ways they could twist it and turn it. They need to do it to make it interesting and to make it challenging. And to keep, I mean, it is a show, right? We're not talking about like anything fair. This isn't, it is what it is. It's entertainment. So, there's a limit to how much we can complain and push back about the decisions that they make, and we're just glad that it's still on and we have something to watch on Wednesday nights other than the Love Boat.
Yes exactly,
because that's like nothing we've ever seen before.
Yes, the opening, I had to turn it off real quick because Zach and Alex were there, and I was like, this is not a thing that we are going to get into. This does not look okay for you guys.
Not for me.
Mandy's second email was actually a duplicate of the first one, so that was it.
Ooh, twinsy emails.
If anybody wants to give us any feedback, though, you can join us live in the chat next week about 15 minutes after the episode ends, or you can email us SurvivorJJC@gmail.com, and we would love to hear from you.
Yep.
Moving into the tally the votes.
Yeah, real ringer for me. Woo. I am ruling at this game this year. My gosh.
So
sorry, Jack.
As mentioned earlier, unfortunately, none of us got any points for Ellie because she did not technically make the merge. Also, none of us got any points for who's going home this week because we had Ryan, Dwight, and Owen, and Ryan, Dwight, and Owen are still there.
Colleen, at least you got one vote, right? Owen got a vote.
He did get a vote.
That's true.
I need to pick my new winner's pick, though. This winner's pick will be eligible for 5 points in the end, I believe. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't make the rules. I barely enforce the rules here. I think my new winner's pick is going to be... turn the strikeout off. Is going to be... I want to go with Jessie, but I also kind of want to go with Carla. So this feels tough.
I don't even know what to tell you because, as I said, I have Carla crossed off with Jessie's name over it. Like, I was a last second, like, oh, okay, Jessie.
Yeah,
it's a tough one.
Hope if I spelled Jessie's name right. I want to go with Carla because I want to go with a woman, which I think is why I went with Ellie to begin with. But I'm getting such great vibes from Jessie. I feel like he's our fallen angel, though.
He's also our hometown boy, Colleen. So play that card if you need.
That's true. That's true. Mm-hmm. All right, let's pick who we think is going to go home next week. Who wants to start?
I'm going to go with Gabler.
All right.
I'm also going to go with Gabler.
That's really funny because that's who I was going to go with as well.
So, we're all in agreement.
Sorry, Gabler. Sorry, Got.
Is he saying that in the chat?
No, I don't know. I can't see the chat. I just feel like for some reason he's a Gabler stan.
Yeah, that's what he strikes me as well. Let's change the color here. Let's see. All right, last chance. Anybody wants to change it up before I finalize this? It's funny.
I will say. Well, hold on.
Okay.
I have no stakes, right? Jack's back next week.
Jack's back next week.
Myself. Okay. Change mine to Noelle.
Oh, that's a great idea. I feel like she's a threat.
You just changed it on Jamie's.
Oh, shoot. Sorry.
She is a threat. I started laughing, though, when I saw, like, how bad Carla's hand was cut. Because I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter how infected that gets. Because Noelle can be like, seriously, you can't go home. Like, toughen up. You know? Like, she's great to be like, toughen up. She'd be great to have around for that. Like, because she's the one to tell you.
You know what? I'll go with Janine. I'll be different.
Janine. Okay. She is kind of on her own. So if she can't connect with somebody instantly, now that Ellie's gone, she's got a tough spot to be in. But she does have an idol, Colleen, remember.
Oh, that's a good point.
And Noelle has what? A steal a vote?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go back to...
Sorry, Jack. That's what
No.
Going on a European vacation.
Yeah, he's fine. He does not.
Empty.
I guarantee he's not going to catch up on Survivor for 1 week. Or care.
Until the last week. Then he might care, but
yeah,
he might blame me. Now he can blame me. That's okay.
There we go. Chat, what do you guys think? Do you think that... Let's see. Oh my God, Miami Mike. I'm glad Survivor evolved I'm sorry, let me try that again. I'm glad Survivor evolved enough to treat the contestants like Carla with a bandage on her finger instead of him having to survive an infection.
A little lidocaine never hurt, you know?
Did she have a bandage? I didn't notice.
She had to have. She was all cut up.
I know. Well,
yeah, and was it somebody else has got bandages on them, like on their shoulders, like really big bandages too. I don't remember.
I don't know if we ever got the Janine chin bruise whole
we
bang
did
up
not.
Story, did we? But I love that last week. I think it was. They're like, yeah, she's badass because she's all bruised up.
Got scars.
She's putting her whole body into it. I'm like, yeah, you've never walked past my bed frame because you know that bruises on my shins have no correlation to how physically active I am.
I literally broke or badly bruised my toe as soon as we were done recording last Thursday, so I get it.
Minutes after we
Colleen,
were done.
you scaled your wall outside, right?
That's I did. I know. I couldn't figure out why. It was actually involving posting this show. I couldn't figure out why it wasn't uploaded. And I was like, it's been like 15 minutes. It was at like 90% when I came up. Why isn't it here? Let me go back downstairs and check on it. And when I got up to come back downstairs, that's when I smashed my toe.
That's when it happened.
That's when it happened.
Down the rope ladder, right?
Yeah.
You didn't go down the stairs.
I did not. Yeah.
You hung upside down Spider-Man style.
And I needed Jay to do that to carry me around the house for the rest of the week. The ending of this story is I had accidentally uploaded it to the broadcast feed by accident. Yeah. I was on autopilot.
Well, we were technically the broadcast. I mean, at least in terms of
that's right.
Women on a podcast is maybe it automatically goes to broadcast.
That's right. But before we're
just gonna keep adding girls to this list as all of the girls are getting voted off of the island.
Yes.
Sorry, Jack.
Got to collect more for here and.
Exactly. We'll have to have Shandy on and have an all girls episode.
There we go.
One of these weeks. Okay, so what I meant to say with Janine is I either read or maybe it was on a podcast. I can't remember where I heard it. Maybe it was just Twitter. But apparently, remember that very first challenge where they had to crawl under the sand under the bars?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She smashed. That's how she injured her face.
Yeah, she was stuck under that sand for a while trying to get out of there. Like, I mean, it's sandpaper, right?
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
No good.
Yep. All right. Well, on that note, everyone, thank you so much for joining us in the chat. Elena, thank you for joining us. This was awesome. You'll have to come back again soon.
Thank you. I'm always happy to. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yay. Thank you again to everybody, though. Thank you to the patrons, especially the ones that contribute a certain level, and that we Eckhart Rigner, Tack from Tokyo, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with the Plan, and Ed the creepy poopy head mailman. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. If you have any feedback, SurvivorJJC@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you. Any last thoughts? Elena, you want to burn the house down on the way out?
No, I don't. Sorry.
She wants a tarp, dang it.
Yeah.
Fire is overrated. We need the tarp.
You're not going to throw Jack's rice in the fire before you go?
Sorry, Jack. We'll be glad when you're back.
Hey, can I have your jacket?
I'll be in the chat next week. Can't wait to see what you guys
I don't think he's going to be glad to be back.
No, probably not.
Elena, when you go, can I possibly get your jacket? Can I have your jacket?
Oh my God.
Elena, can I have your jacket?
Oh my God, I forgot all about that.
All yours.
Anyway, all right, guys. Thank you all again. We'll see you next week. As always, my name is Colleen.
And I'm still Jamie.
I'm not Jack, but I'm Elena.
Peace out, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.